Okay, right, next job is to fit my DC to DC charger. Let me just show you what I've got and where I'm planning to put it. Right, so I'm going to fit my battery to battery charger underneath the passenger seat here, and what I've gone for is the Renogy 40 amp DC to DC charger, as she is. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to fix that down yet, but we'll worry about that afterwards. Anyway, my two cables from my house batteries in the back are there. Obviously the starter battery's under here, so that's quite straightforward to, you know, get all that together. But I need my D plus cable. If you're not familiar with what a D plus cable is, basically it goes in that connection there, and it's just a single wire. What that does is you connect it onto the ignition circuit of the van, and it provides a 12-volt signal to this when the ignition on and the engine is running, which then activates that, which then charges the batteries in the back, and then when you turn the engine off, it loses that 12-volt signal, and then that will switch off so it doesn't drain the power from the starter battery. That's the theory anyway. So we need to sort that out first. So what I've done, let's go around the side, is I have found my ignition cable. So in here, you've taken a lot of trim away from here already, so you can actually see this. But up underneath here, there is a cable loom here. Look, which disappears off in behind the steering column, and this has this braiding sort of fabric wrap around it, which you have to peel away first to expose the cables. And this big one here, let me get in a bit closer. This big one here, the white with the black stripe on it, is the ignition cable. And it may be, and apparently I've been told on some other vans, possibly the Ducato or the Boxer, that may be a different colour. So one way you can test that is you might be able to see here just about that I've just shaved a little bit of the sheathing away there to expose the copper conductors inside. So using my voltmeter down here, what I can do is connect onto a bolt to give me an earth, and touch the copper conductor there, and with the ignition switched off you get 0 volts, and when the ignition is on you then get your 12 volts through there. Well, actually I was getting 13 point something, but effectively you get your feed. So that tells you that that is the ignition cable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave a bit more of this sheathing here away, and then I'm going to solder onto there my D plus cable, and then route that to the other side to the battery to battery charger. Okay, so I've got my ignition cable in there now. Actually, to be fair, I shied away from soldering that and burying the cable, and instead, if I just bring you around onto the table, the seat here, oh, it's a mess, isn't it? I used one of these little splices. So the standard size you get are these little blue ones or red ones, but in this little pack I got, there's also some nice big chunky yellow ones, which was just the right size for what I needed. So I used one of those and simply just spliced into the cable, and then I've just used some black electrical tape just to wrap around it there, just to protect everything. And my cable now comes out here. So I've started off with a small length which has a fuse holder in it there. No fuse in there yet, but that's there. And then I've got a length of wire here which I'm going to feed down the back and run through the van. So the way I've been able to check this is if I turn my meter on, and this is going to be somewhat awkward to do this with just two hands. Let me see if I can bring a little tripod in here actually. Stick you up on the tripod there. Okay, so if I take a read, I haven't got a fuse in there, so I'm just going to go for the terminal that's on the correct side. So if I pop in there and touch a bolt, I've got 0 volts, and then if I turn the ignition on like so, and then make the circuit again, I'm getting my 12 volts. So I know I've got power as far as the fuse holder, so I know that my splice is all good. Let's turn that off. Right, so next job is to fish this wire all the way through the van somehow. How am I going to do that? First job, I think, is a bit of a tidy up. Right, now we get that off, let's show you underneath here. Let's just put you into helicopter mode again to come across. Here we go. Right, now I've got that footwell out, there's all kinds of wires and things under here, look, and all kinds of spare plugs for things that aren't connected at the moment. So I've no idea what any of that is, but I'm sure that will all it's all there for a good reason. And oh look, we need a bit of a clean up in here as well. You wouldn't think this was a 2018, would you? Look at that. That's obviously where water's getting in underneath, where builders have been stepping in and out or something or other from its previous life. But not to worry, not to worry. Nothing a good clean up won't sort out. So what we're going to do, I think, is run our cable from here down in behind there, pick up this corner here, run down through round here, go through this cable tray, and poke out the back there somewhere and come along along the back. I think rather than take all this up to go that way. I mean, I could, but I think round the back is going to be a bit easier. So let me clean that up, and then we'll get this cable running. Okay, so I've cleaned all this area up with a wire brush and got all the rust off in these two spots. Now, because this is obviously on that side of the rubber, and we got that plastic in there, this isn't actually seen, so I'm not going to worry about trying to find the same Citroen white. I don't really see the point. So I'm just going to use the good old hammerite and just smash this in there over all that bare metal that I've just created. Right, that looks, hang on, let's take you off of there again, go for another helicopter ride. Right, there we go. that looks remarkably better, doesn't it? And that's just taken 5 minutes, literally. Just smash that rust off with a wire brush, give it a hoover out, give it all a nice wipe up, bit of hammerite in there, winner winner chicken dinner. Right, let's get back to this cable again. Right, okay. So just to recap then, we are connected up here into that black and white ignition cable. I put an inline fuse in here, which I'll pop a little micro fuse in, you know, when it's all connected up at the end. We then come across here, we tuck down in behind that fuse box out the bottom here, and I've just got it tagged in behind these cable clips here. Come through the tray there, down here, underneath the cable there, and we are at the moment, as you can see, just poking out into the back, and then I'll run that way along the back to the passenger seat. So now I'm in there and this is all taken care of. All of this can all be put back together now because I'm finished this end. Okay, so I've made my battery connections. So negative is just one in the middle there. Positive I brought over here. There was a spare bolt and screw there. I just packed that up underneath with a few washers to bring the height up, so that when that was fixed down, it didn't bend and twist on this lug here. So it's just raised up, so I get a nice run across there. They both then tuck underneath here. They come out this side here, come round under the clip, go around here, underneath here, and then through the back here. And I've just made where this rear screw point is for the step. I've just made a little hole at the side of that in there, and you can see, if I just move the ones that go to the back out of the way, you can see them down in there, tucking through underneath the seat like so. There's my D plus cable, look, coming in from the back there. So all the action on that is going to take place underneath the seat there, and I've chosen not to put the fuses in here. I'm going to mount the fuses both on the input stage and the output stage, actually with the battery to battery charger underneath here. And this is 16mm cable that I'm using, and this is what is recommended in the blurb with the DC to DC battery charger as being the correct cable to use. And luckily, as it happened, under here as well, you can just make it out. There was already a slot in the foam under here, which I've been able to utilise for those cables to come through without having to bend and chop that about too much. So that's worked out quite well. So this bit of it, oh, and I've had a nice little clean up in here like I did the other side. So this side here is, and there is pretty well done. So I'm going to get all the covers back on, get the seat off out the way, I think, so I can see what I'm doing a bit better, and then work out how to mount all that under there. Okay, what I've done here now is I've got let's get the D cable out of the way. So I've got my feed from the starter battery coming in, and my feed that my supply that's going to the back of the van to the you know, to the main circuit board, and just got these tucked coming in the corner of the frame, seat frame here, which is nice and neat and tidy in there. And I've just put my fuses in. I'm using rather than those great chunky big trips, because the reality is I don't think these are going to blow very often. I've just used these little MIDI fuses, I think they're called. You know, that size one. You can get them from any local motorist shop, and they're just a few pennies, so not expensive. So that's what I've done in there. So I've got a 60 amp on the input stage here, and a 50 amp tucked in there for the output stage, as per the recommendations from Renogy. And what I've done with this is I've just knocked up a bit of furniture board left from a bit of scrap there, with a bit of edge trimming on, which I fixed to the side of the seat frame, and then fixed the battery charger to that. Therefore, that way I still get a little bit of storage in here rather than having it down on the floor, and it keeps it nice and secure, because this is all just spongy stuff down here, so I was never going to get a terribly good fixing down there. Right, so I've got my first live cable in this side, so I'm just cutting the one to go from there over to here. So we don't need to go too crazy on length here, do we? I wonder if that little bit I got there is long enough. No. So I'm just going to prepare one end, and then I can cut it to size. Right, tuck in there like so. Right, let me carry on with the negatives, cutting those to length and getting those in. Then I'll come back to you when I'm doing the D+ cable. Right, so I've got my negatives connected. So what we have now is the output stage is this side, input stage is this side. So my positives go through 2 MIDI fuses there. Just tidied all the other cables up against this bar at the back here. Looks a couple of cable ties to keep that nice and tidy. Got a job to speak this morning. And at the front here I've also connected my D+ cable in there, as you can see, the little thin one, and that's all seems all good. So let's have a quick look at the battery monitor, and then we'll fire up the old beast and see what we get. So at the moment, not sure if you can see that or not. Yeah, there we go. So if I just scroll through, batteries are a little bit depleted at the moment because I've had them switched off for a while because it's been too cold to charge them. But I'm at 13.1, 69.3 state of charge, and at the moment no amps going into the system because the solar panels are switched off. Right, let me go and switch the engine on and we'll see what we got. So let's fire it up. Here. So now if I scroll through to charge, there we go, I got 34.9 amps coming in. 34.7, yeah, that's fluctuating up and down as one would expect a little bit. Oh, look at that, Spy Dog. And the little symbol in the corner there, look, is showing that we are charging. And on the front of the battery charger now, we should have a green light, if you will, to show that we are on. And there it is, look. Marvellous, look at that. Okay, well, I'm pretty much done in here. That's all finished. The one thing I am going to do though is to put over here behind the dashboard somewhere, put a little switch somewhere where I can turn that D+ cable on and off, which will effectively allow me to turn the DC to DC battery charger on and off at my convenience, rather than having it basically on and operating all the time that we're driving along, because there may be times where I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to pop a little switch in there, and actually what I've got left over still is another one of these little fellows here, that on off for the light there. So I could use one of those for that. So that's what I'm going to do. Just need to find a little place to do that.
A little later.
Okay, just as a quick finish off to this video, I've installed my little switch here. Look, like the one over on the kitchen. So now when I push this in, I get a little blue light there, and over on the battery to battery charger, my can you see that? Yeah, my green light is on, and then when I switch the switch off, it goes off. Marvellous, look at that. So now when I'm driving along, I can you know, decide when to have the battery to battery charger running and when not to, and of course I've got that visual mark there of the little blue LED to tell me what's going on, and that's just wired in. Let's try and pull that off. Just wired in on the other side of this fuse holder that I put in, so all fairly straightforward. And there was a ground point in behind there to ground it so the LED light on it works, and all pretty straightforward. There we go. Okay, let's wrap that video up there, shall we? I've got my battery charger in, which was the main goal today and yesterday. And a few other bits and bobs as we saw. So well, we're coming along nicely. The next job in the van, I think, is going to be Remis blinds. We've got to do the blinds, so that's going to be coming up next. Oh, and thanks to everybody that has replied and voted on my last poll on electrics. So yes, we will do an electrics video, so that's going to be coming up very soon as well, where we're going to dig into what the regs actually do say, so everyone can you know, be doing well, in theory, the right thing. But we'll wait and see on that one. Right, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, blah blah blah, and I'll see you next time round. Bye for now.